Hi, I'm Charles Clinton.
And I'm Andre Miller.
And this is Opinions Are Like, the show where we talk about stuff and give our opinions on them.
That's right. And today we're going to talk about Star Wars: The Force Awakens,
Dun,
7th episode.
Dun, 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 dun.
I saw the movie, and you saw the movie, of course.
Yeah, we saw the movie, and I really enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot of the original trilogy, but with a lot of new elements to it.
Okay.
So let's start off by talking about what is it fair to compare this to the original trilogy?
I think it's totally fair. I think that's the reason why so many people enjoyed the movie. The people that were already Star Wars fans. It took you back to a place, you know, where basically you had a feel, a Star Wars feel.
So it took you back to the galaxy far, far away.
Yes,
a long time ago.
It had some of the same elements in the first, you know, the very first film that I appreciated. I
liked it. I felt that some people, I've heard a lot of people say that the characters seem to be too much like imitations of what the original series, the original movie was like. But at the same time, I felt that the characters were original enough. And you also got to understand that I think that the way J.J. Abrams and the co-writers wrote the story, it was very different from the way A New Hope was.
Well, what's interesting about that whole point is George Lucas, he would attend meetings and he would give them, you know, his information on what he had already written. They didn't use any of that.
Yeah, I heard that story too, and I have to applaud J.J. Abrams for doing that because I think that that was the right call. You're trying to do something new with an established product. You don't want to have too much input from the people who have done this before. And while I respect George Lucas as a producer immensely, I think that it was time for someone else to do the series justice, and I think that he did a very good job.
Well, you know, the thing that frightened me is that you don't want to lose that formula, which they didn't. No. So they did do a very good job without even having George Lucas to put his two or 3 cents in. So let's first talk about the story. I mean, how good was the story in your opinion?
Yeah, we're going to have some slight spoilers in this, just so you know. But yeah, I think that the story was good. I think that one of the main things, there were some very big differences between the original and the Force Awakens, in the sense that you have characters that we haven't necessarily seen before. One big example of this is Finn, the Stormtrooper, which, by the way, you gotta love the fact that there's like a black Stormtrooper in the movie now. I mean, like a black main character in here.
They keep it interesting. It adds a bit of a zestfulness, if that's even a word.
And like I think John Boyega did a very admirable performance. I mean, he comes off of Attack the Block, and makes himself a big star with this movie, with this role.
Yes. Well, let me go to the story. What I felt was, you know, was a very, very compelling story. Like I said, they stuck with the Star Wars formula, good versus evil. You know, I enjoyed that part of it. Actually, I did enjoy the characters also, and I think that they're going to develop the characters more and more, you know, as these films keep on coming. But I thought the story was, you know, just as compelling as the first one, and that's what brought me in.
Yeah, I think that it moved very, very quickly. Like, you don't really have a whole lot of time to stop and, you know, reflect on things. It's like things are just happening bam, 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 and while I think that there were I don't think that the original movies gave too much time to breathe either, but at the same time, I think that they balanced the action with some of the more poignant or more dialogue-heavy stuff pretty well, I'd say. And I think that the dialogue was a lot snappier in this one. You don't have, like, exchanges like, you know, you don't think a princess and a guy like me. No. You don't have scenes like that in this one, which I liked. I think that, like, you had that little awkward exchange between Finn and Rey, but it was played for laughs, and it felt more natural than that.
Exactly. And it's you know, those were human scenes, I would say.
Yes. I
because of the reaction towards them. Now one thing about the story is you're emotionally tied to the story.
Yes.
I think that helps too.
Yes.
Based off of the other Star Wars films. One thing I can say, my son, Isaiah, shout out to Isaiah, he hates science fiction movies. Okay.
Why?
I have no idea. he just doesn't like them. However, he liked Star Wars, and he's never seen it before. Okay, he's never seen any of the films, so he likes it. So I think they're growing their audience from people that have never seen Star Wars, and it was easy to just jump in. The water is warm, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
well, I gotta say, we gotta go from talking about the story to talking about the new characters.
okay.
And in my opinion, the first character that we gotta talk about is Kylo Ren, the new villain, the new big bad guy, played by Adam Driver, who was somewhat of an established actor before this. He had been in quite a few things, and he's going to continue to be in a few things coming up. But he, in my opinion, was the big revelation of the movie, his performance as Kylo Ren. And he plays a very rage-prone young Sith, or I don't even know, like he's got his own dark side, he's a dark side Force user, and he's so rage-prone. You never really got to see that with Anakin Skywalker in the prequels, but you see this with him, and I like that. I like the scene where he gets so angry he just starts waving his lightsaber around and just whacking stuff in the ship, and like the stormtroopers are walking by and they decide to go another way. I thought that was very funny, and it was also illustrated a very good character point about him. He's not in control at all.
Exactly.
And I liked that they showed that as a very different, very big contrast to Darth Vader and the Emperor and Governor Tarkin, and even General Hux in the new movie, in Force Awakens too. The First Order doesn't have complete control over him, and he doesn't have complete control either.
Exactly. One thing I liked about his character is that he showed his vulnerabilities.
Yes.
They were shown. So, him being the villain, so to speak, you usually can't see the villain's vulnerabilities like that. So he played, I think it was written into the story for him to play the character like that.
I think they revealed a lot more than they did in A New Hope. Back to the New Hope comparisons. In A New Hope, you don't know anything about Darth Vader at all. In this one, you find out who Ben Solo's father is. You find out about his family. You find out.
Spoiler alert.
Ben Solo. Yeah, Kylo Ren. But yeah, you find out a lot about him. You're gonna find out more in the next movies, but you've already gotten enough to make you want to watch more, and that's what I like. Now, the character that you didn't find out very much anything is Rey. That's what I was really interested by too, was the fact that here's this new character. She has the power of the Force. She can resist Kylo Ren's mind probing, but she doesn't have. But at the same time, you don't really know who she is or where she comes from originally. She's just this orphan living on this desert planet.
She's been a loner all her life.
She reminds me a lot of Luke, really. But I don't the rumor is that she's Luke's daughter. I don't believe that personally.
No, I just think it's a new character. I like her character too because she is very mysterious. They have a lot to work with, moving forward. I think she has certain skills. Spoiler alert,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, she can wield a lightsaber. Yeah, she's pretty good with that.
Yeah. I mean, I like her character, and this goes with the Star Wars theme. You add little bits and pieces, but you make the characters likable. Basically. Yeah. Even the villains. You kind of make them kind of like likable villains.
Likable, yet, or at least somewhat relatable either to your life or to something that you've seen.
Exactly. That's why I like Darth Vader so much. Not saying that I'm Darth Vader, but me and him have a connection. I feel something when I.
Well, that's interesting. That'd be something we might want to talk about.
Show,
yeah, that'd be something we want to talk about further, off camera. I think.
Well, I like the character studies. We talked about Finn briefly. I think he adds a breath of fresh air to Star Wars.
He's humorous. He has a sense of humor, which is amazing considering he's a guy who's been brainwashed to be a stormtrooper, but a killing machine.
Yes. Yeah.
And like he gets out of that, and he's actually got a sense of humor about it, and he manages to, seem to see the lighter side of things at least a little bit, or at least project that.
Now I know you know his background. He's a British actor.
Yeah, John Boyega. Yeah.
John Boyega,
Yeah, he was in a movie called Attack the Block, which is a science fiction film that was executive produced by Edgar Wright, the guy who did Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
Okay. Well, they got it right with the characters. Were there any more characters that you wanted to
the biggest about? Here's the character that I thought got most underrepresented and kind of needed more screen time, in my opinion, was Poe Dameron, played by Oscar Isaac. Now, Oscar Isaac is obviously a very established movie star who probably had a lot of other things going on going into this. So I understand not giving him much screen time. But let me say this. I think that, the moments where he's there in the scenes, you just, even though he doesn't do too much, you just feel his overall charisma. It just shines through those scenes, like when he's given the plans to BB-8 and he's hiding, and when he's resisting the torture. Those scenes, are kind of made by him, by his character, and by his charisma.
I think they add credibility to the film, him just being in the film.
Yes.
I think they're gonna dive deeper into his character. They're gonna do some character study, and he will have more scenes, more time. I should say.
Yes.
I thought this was perfect. Him, just doing what little bit that he did, and I think he did very well, just like all the other characters. Yeah. So what do you think the future is going to hold for this franchise?
Well, the next Star Wars movie that comes out is actually going to be Rogue One. It's not it's not in the same. Well, it's not in this storyline. It's basically the story of how the Death Star plans were stolen.
Okay.
And it's going to be starring Felicity Jones, who's best known for doing period dramas in the United Kingdom. And she also was nominated for Best Actress for playing Stephen Hawking's wife in The Theory of Everything.
Okay, yes.
So yeah, but like they have an international cast, including I forget the guy's name. He's the Thai action star. Something I forget his name. Johnny something.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I forget his name. But yeah, he's in there too. There's very the guy from Casino Royale. I can't pronounce his name, but like he's in
it though.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I think they need to work. They need to dive deeper into the characters, which I know they will. I think they need to work on the villains. Darth Vader was just an iconic villain. That's what I think actually made Star Wars. I mean, you had good versus evil, but you had this iconic villain, Darth Vader.
So you think that they should spend more time with Kylo Ren in the next two movies?
Talk about his story a little bit. Give me more background. But yeah. Listen, this franchise, in my opinion, can last another 10 to 15 years. What about you?
I mean, I think that after these next set of movies are done, they could go to cable television and do something along the lines of Game of Thrones. I really think that could work, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, J.J. Abrams is a guy who got his start in television. He still produces TV shows, and I think that's a great that's a great direction for it to go. Now, whether it's going to go that way or not, I mean, remains to be seen. There's other TV shows. There's the animated Star Wars Rebels that's out right now.
Okay.
But there's not, there hasn't been a live action show, and I think that that's a direction it could go, and I think that you might be able to get something a bit more adult out of it too, and I think that might be a good direction for it to go too. But at the same time,
they might ruin their
fan base
and fan base, but those are great ideas. Now, a couple tidbits about this. On October 2012, George Lucas, he sold his production company, Lucasfilm.
Yeah, he sold it to Disney.
To Disney, okay. As of January 27th, the film has grossed $883 million in North America, Overall, it's grossed $1.995 billion all over the world. Also, it's the highest grossing film in North America, third highest grossing film of all time. So you must check this film out. It's a very good film. I gives it the 2 thumbs up,
Yeah,
plus
me too.
10, 20. So, go check it out.
Yeah, it's an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, I'm really surprised, to be honest with you. It seems like at least half the world's population probably would have seen it by now, but
It took
maybe
me 3
I'm wrong
weeks to
about.
see it. I was trying to let the crowd subside a little bit before I saw it.
Well, I saw it on opening night, and then I saw it again. But I definitely enjoyed it. I am looking forward to seeing what the rest of this trilogy has to offer, as well as the standalone films that are going to be coming out in between the new trilogy.
Okay.
All right, that's all the time we have. Thank you. Please like our Facebook page, and also email us any comments or questions you have to fourthkey@yahoo.com. And we'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor, Thornblade Legal Group. Stop the hurt, call Kurt. And we will see you next time, where we'll be talking about Black Lives Matter.
Thank you.